What's up, guys? Tim Little. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Today we have another underwater video for you. Today I am showing you how fish react to different lures, and more importantly, how they bite different types of lures and how you can effectively adjust your fishing to put more fish in the boat. So recently, I've had a lot of time to go through some of our underwater footage that Matt and I have collected throughout the years. You know, in this footage that I'm going to show you, you're going to see, you'll recognize some of these fish, but not all of them. You might recognize some of the bites, but had a lot of time to analyze this footage. You know, I love looking at underwater footage. There's so much to learn about that underwater realm and how these fish interact with each other, how they interact with different baits, how they interact with their environments, you know, the light rays coming through and the different stuff in the water that's causing visibility issues. There's so much stuff to look at, but today's video, I want you to look at it with a different perspective. Look at the way they actually eat the bait. You know, before in our underwater videos, we've talked about the fish, the mannerisms, the temperaments, the change in the temperaments throughout the process of fishing form and getting that footage. But today I want you to look at this footage with a different perspective, because I learned a lot of things watching this footage in slow motion. You know, what if I told you there was a few tips and tricks, some minor adjustments to help you guys put more jig fish in the boat or more swim bait fish in the boat? So we're gonna dive down under the surface. I'll go along with you. I'll kind of do a voiceover as the clips play, and at the end, kind of discuss, and I'll give you some tips and some tricks that Matt and I do to help apply to our fishing to put more fish in the boat. You guys, underwater footage is awesome. Let's dive in. So cool seeing how the light reflects off the bottom. All right, let's stop that right there. So amazing that as the jig is falling, that bass just literally catches the tentacles. You know, if I threw a jig to you right now, the jig trailer challenge, let's call it. If I threw a jig to you right now, do you think you could grab that jig trailer out of the air? No, there's no way. It's so cool that these fish are that accurate. So if you're fishing right now and you felt that tick and you're lifting up and you feel weight, obviously the fish could just be swimming away with just the tentacles, and when you set the hook, you'd come back with just the tentacles gone on your trailer. On the hop, ate it right behind the hook. At the end of this, I'll cover some tips and some stuff that I think can help you guys, help myself as well, put more fish in the boat. Let's watch that in slow-mo. Right there. It is literally, that smallmouth just grabbed that bait right behind the hook, got the tentacles, might even have a little bit of the weed guard, but completely avoided the hook. I left this clip in there. I put this clip in there because it's a lot smaller presentation. This is a Ned rig, so it's a little TRD head with a TRD craw. Real small presentation, but on the hop, this largemouth eats the tentacles first. Completely avoids the hook, just eats the tentacles. Sucks it in, swims away. How accurate is that bite? It's like a 3-step process. Eat the pinchers, suck it in a little bit, crush it, suck it up all the way. See how fast that is? So cool. He just carried that one off by the pinchers. A jig has so much stuff going on, right? It's got the skirt that's pulsating. You got the tentacles, the pinchers moving. So watching this footage, trying to put this video together, was really cool, just seeing little key things like this. Check out this one. I believe this is the last one of this fish eating this bait, but look at this. So precise, like a surgeon, right? Right behind that hook, grabbed the hook guard, grabbed everything except for the shiny piece of metal. Little Texas rig bait. Boom. And I'm working this bait fairly quickly. I'm hopping it. I slowed it down so you guys can see, but watch where this fish eats this bait. Right behind the hook. This happened over and over again. It didn't matter if it was a swim bait. Such a cool clip. Smallmouth are just mean. Grabs this thing right on the dorsal fin and then does like the dog bite and shake. Look at the dorsal fin on each little head shake. And then poof. If you guys haven't used that dark sleeper, that is a must. I don't care if you're a pond fisherman, a kayak fisherman, whatever kind of fisherman, that is a must. All right, I'm gonna pause this big largemouth eating this Hud right here. This is a 10-inch Hud, and I want you guys to look. This has a stinger hook. We've done videos in the past on how to rig stinger hooks on these big baits because these fish intentionally miss the hook. But watch how this fish misses the hook. So cool. Just cruises right on back. See how fast that little bite was? On and off. Within a millisecond. Just on and off so quickly. Little tail grabber. This footage is so cool. Not even watching them eat, but just watch how they swim around their environment. Look how that fish just spun around and just grabbed the tail. So cool. This applies to finesse fishing too. Look how that fish just bit that bait right behind the hook. This one cracks me up. Just sitting there, just nibbling on the tentacle. You know, if that was me fishing, I would have swore that was a bluegill bite. See how that hook got hung up? There's little things you can do to downsize your tackle to make sure you smoked it. To make sure you take advantage of those bites you get. Bit it right on the head, completely avoided that top treble. How cool is that footage? You know, it never ceases to amaze me how good these fish are at hitting their targets. You know, I've had tons of fish in the past that I could visibly see come up to my glide bait and bite it right here between the treble hooks. You know, Matt and I, we've done videos on adding stinger hooks to our soft swim baits. We've visibly seen the fish, if you had a belly hook on it, eat the top of the bait, switch it over and run a stinger hook on the top. Now they're eating the belly of the bait. But now with this underwater footage, the slow motion, you can see how quickly these fish can take a bite and be very, very accurate. You know, that first clip, when that fish eats the jig on the fall and just shoots in and just grabs the pinchers of that trailer, man, the light bulb went off to me. You know, if I took a jig right now and I tossed it to you, you think you'd be able to grab the pinchers out of the air just like that? You know, it's phenomenal how accurate these fish are and how smart they are, how they interact with their environment. So, key takeaways for you jig fishermen. Question for you. After watching this footage and you feel like that you got a bite, that dong, and you run out and swing and there's nothing there, are you throwing a craw trailer with pinchers? You know, watching that footage in slow motion, all those clips, that was the first thing they grabbed. It didn't matter if it was a big jig, a finesse jig, or a Ned rig with just a small craw on it. That was the first thing they grabbed. And to me, next time I'm out jig fishing and I'm throwing a craw trailer, I might be a little bit more hesitant on the hook set. When I get cracked, I might check it for some weight, right? Because, you know, these fish, they're defending their area, right? But it just shows you the possibility and how accurate they can be if they choose to be, right? So if they come over and they just crack your jig and they hit those pinchers, the thing that's gonna hurt them, maybe they're just trying to kill that crayfish or that crawdad. You know, so for me, small little adjustments. One thing you can do is shorten up your jig trailer. You know, on our beaver style baits, our creature style baits, we've preached this before in different videos, but you know, cut down, bite off the second or third little nub right there on your creature bait, on your trailer. Get that jig more compact so it doesn't give them the area to miss that hook. On your swim baits, you know, we've done videos in the past about adding a red treble hook on the front of the bait. And not that it mimics a bleeding fish or anything like that, but it gives that fish a target. We just watched in slow motion underwater how accurate these fish are at their bites. What if you added a red hook? Now it just gives them a target. It gives them that bullseye. So if they do come up and they just take that nip, you have them nipping the hook and not the inside of the bait. Finesse fishermen, same thing. You're getting short struck or you're getting bit, you're setting the hook and you're coming back with or you're coming back with just a third of the worm. That's because those fish are biting that worm right behind the hook. Smaller presentations. If that is happening to you, go from a 6-inch worm to a 4-inch worm or a 2-inch worm, you know, something that imitates a bait fish, something a little bit smaller, but more importantly, downsize your tackle, downsize your line, downsize your hook. You know, if you're throwing a normal drop shot hook, maybe go to a lighter wire hook. We really like that Mosquito light hook from Owner. That hook works great for us, especially here in those clear water reservoirs. But downsize your gear, downsize your baits, and you won't get those short strikes. You know, underwater footage I am fascinated by. I could literally sit there and watch it for hours, and I have. You know, this video I probably spent 3 days just going through footage, just old footage, and just re-watching how these fish positioned, their mannerisms, you know, their dorsal fin, how quickly they turned around, how they interacted with their environment, you know, chasing off carp, chasing off other bass, chasing off bluegill. So much stuff to be learned in underwater, and it's awesome. Even this footage that I've watched before, I always learned something from it, and I hope you guys did too. Down below in the comments section, please leave me some of the key things that maybe you saw that I might have missed watching these videos, and maybe some tips and some tricks that you guys do. But again, guys, underwater fishing, underwater filming is so much fun. It's hard to get the footage. It's hard to get those fish that want to interact in front of the camera. But when it all works out, man, there is some awesome tips and some information to take away from it. As always, guys, we appreciate you. If you like this video or you learned something from it, please give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to our channel. We do 3 videos a week for you. We appreciate you. Have a good one.